another episode of It's My Optometry Business. I'm your host, Hannah Cho, a fellow optometrist helping private practices thrive. Rather than let's say Facebook, which has kind of turned into like an older social media platform, and I don't really play around with it too much at this point because before I used to pay for Facebook ads, but I think the people that are on there don't typically look at ads anymore. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of This is My Optometry Business with Dr. Hannah Cho, which is me. Welcome back, and I'm super excited to be here, and I did get a lot of positive feedback, so I'm super excited to see that people are finding some value in what I have to share. I'm not always sure how to gauge the interest level because it's not really one-on-one, but I'm going to continue. And today what we're going to talk about is something very exciting and something that everybody really needs, and it's marketing. So like I said in my first episode, marketing is something that is a huge beast. It's not something that I can go over in this short episode, but what I can do is, like I said, to me, it's really important that I give you guys more practical tips, something that you can actually do right away during this downtime that you guys have available to you. So that's what I'm going to be sharing with you. To preface this, I'm going to let you guys know that a lot of this you guys already might have already implemented. A lot of stuff is common sense at this point, but I'm going to talk to you guys as if you guys were coming to me for a consulting service and you guys are opening cold. So let's do this baby step starting from scratch. So the first thing that you guys definitely need to do is have a really great website designed. If you guys are well versed in creating your own design for websites, go ahead and feel free to do so. But someone like me, for example, I don't really have that keen eye for the website design, so I always hire somebody that knows what they're doing, basically. So about 8 years ago, I opened my practice cold. For me, I knew that the website would be very crucial. Website is actually something that patients usually create their first impression of your office through, and so you want to make sure you have a great first impression. Not only that, I actually knew that updating the website regularly was very important because you want to make sure that the patients know that you're investing money and you're constantly innovating yourself and your practice. So that goes hand in hand with updating your website. Rule of thumb, I think, is maybe every 2 to 3 years, sometimes even more frequently. It really depends on how you want to portray your office. For me, it was really important to make sure that patients knew that we were the innovative office. We're always making sure everything was updated. So we actually tried to update the website every year, whether it be a huge overhaul or if it was mild changes like adding on video or something like that. But just always having the content be very fresh. I think that keeps the patients engaged and they realize that, hey, this practice is being updated regularly and keeping up with the times. So that's number one. And going hand in hand with the website design, there's another part that happens on more on the back end of it, and that's the SEO. And what that stands for is search engine optimization. A lot of you guys might already be very familiar in getting pounded on the head over this. Basically, you want to make sure that all the work that you've done for the website makes it so search engines and people can find you very easily. What it does is it pulls keywords and it helps you with your ranking on like your Google search. And so it just helps you be on a higher rank when people are searching for your services. So you want to make sure that you always come up at the top. And again, for me personally, not something that I'm interested in learning or even wanting to do. So we always outsource that and make sure that it's being updated regularly and ongoing. So there's that website thing. And the last part I want to touch on within that website umbrella is you want to have a really strong logo/branding. And I said this before, but branding is such a huge component of it. You really have to sit down and figure out what you're trying to tell your patients, what your practice is standing for, and what you want to portray to your patients. And so, for example, FLOEoptometry, we're really all about innovation and being convenient to patients and also providing stellar patient care. So what we did was we kept our logo very updated. So I don't know if you guys have ever seen any of our logos, but you guys can always check on our Instagram maybe. The handle is FLOEoptometry, FLOE optometry in one word, and FLOE, actually, just in case you guys were interested, it stands for love of eyes. And so that kind of encapsulates that we're doing everything for the love of eyes and for patients' eye health. So it kind of is all encompassing. But anyways, for the logo, we wanted to make sure that it was fresh. So I did do a lot of rebranding every, I want to say 2 to 3 years again, just to kind of update it and make sure that it wasn't going stale. I think the logo that we actually just created a couple months ago, I love, and I don't think I'm actually going to touch it for a while now, just because we actually finally bit the bullet and we brought in a professional. And I think that makes the world of a difference to bring somebody that knows exactly what they're doing and to convey exactly what we're trying to towards our patients. So logo needs to be done professionally. I think having the branding, and for me, what branding means is when a patient hears about your office, or when a patient is talking to their friends about your office, what is it that they're getting from the office? What are they understanding from the brand? So for FLOE, we're really on top of innovation, getting the latest equipment, and giving the best patient care, customized, individual, just going over the top customer experience, patient experience. And so we really pride ourselves on that. And so whenever we see our Yelp reviews or we see patients talking about us, it's always in the context of a positive one. And they're always bragging about how they love everybody at the office, how they feel like they're just special and they're very well taken care of. And so it really depends on what you guys want to set your office up for. But whatever it is, just make sure you're constantly focused on that and you're reiterating that message over and over again through all of your platforms, whether it be social media, your website, in person, on your phone messages, whatever it is. Just make sure you're staying very consistent so you don't confuse the patients. So with that said, the other part that I can think of for marketing is, and this is actually something that's very near and dear to my heart, is going into optometry school. Actually, just a side story. When I wrote my essay, I remember vividly that I was talking about how important it was for me to give back. And I think because I wrote that in my essay, it kind of grounds me, and it actually has been playing a part all throughout the 8 years that I've been practicing. And the good thing is it's continually keeping me grounded, because I'm such a strong believer in giving back to the community and helping those underserved that can't help, that don't have access to help. And so just find something that you guys are passionate about, and whatever it is, whether it be charity for the homeless or helping people that have no access to regular health care and exams and eyeglasses, or your dog shelter, or whatever it is that you guys have a passion for, make sure you get plugged into your local community, because I do feel like it's very important that you guys have a very strong partnership with an organization in your community. Because when you think about it, all of your patients, most of them are from that surrounding area. For me personally, I love supporting businesses that are doing and making a difference in my local community. So with that in mind, why wouldn't patients want to help with your sales and with your business if they know that it's helping another cause that also resonates with them? Just find a local charity or community organization, partner up with them. For me, I personally have a very strong passion for the homeless community. And so we plugged into the local homeless shelters in our area. And what we're trying to do is actually partner up with them and provide them with whatever we need. Sometimes we give out eye exams or eyeglasses, whatever it is that they need, we usually provide at no cost. And it's not something that I usually broadcast actually, but what happens is the workers at the charity actually appreciate our services so much that they actually become the, I guess, free form of advertisement. I don't think it's good to go into helping a charity with that kind of, I guess, mentality where if I do this for them, then I'll get something in return. I think it's really important that you go in with a very humble heart and you're going to help your community. And that equation usually turns into something coming back to you. So just my 2 cents on that. So the last part that I want to talk to you about is social media. So Social media, I mean, it's kind of interesting, right? Like we grew up with different social medias throughout our life. And right now, because let's say like 15, 20 years ago, it was Facebook. And then it was Instagram. And then now it's LinkedIn slash TikTok, podcasts. And so it kind of varies. And I think just trying to figure out what your patients usually pay attention to, because for marketing, the main part is to figure out who your demographic that you're trying to target is, zone in on that, and then try to be where they're usually hanging out virtually. What I mean by that is, so to give an example of my own office, because that's the only one that I can kind of tell you in real time, is our demographic is usually the millennials. They have disposable income. For me, I know that they're hanging out probably on Instagram and TikTok. And TikTok is actually kind of more geared towards the younger age of the millennial range. And so we're trying to hit Instagram and TikTok pretty hard. So if you guys are on TikTok, go ahead and find me. It's FLOE, FLOE optometrist, and we can be friends. But it's like a very, like, nobody would have thought that that actually can become a platform. And it kind of is, because you really want to be where all the eyes are at. And so in TikTok, for example, for those of you that aren't on there, it's basically all these users and they upload videos. A lot of times it's dancing videos, which are actually fun to make. And sometimes you actually find experts in their industries that are advocating or educating patients about potential clients, what their industry is about. And so, for example, sometimes I'll upload videos about ways to take care of your eyes or things not to do with contact lenses and stuff like that. And you give it in this bite-sized, very entertaining, small nugget. That's one way that you can actually promote your practice. And then on the other side, for example, like Instagram. So Instagram has been around for a while. It used to be like the leader of the millennial group, where they were most likely to purchase something from Instagram rather than, like, let's say Facebook, which has kind of turned into like an older social media platform. And I don't really play around with it too much at this point, because before I used to pay for Facebook ads, but I think the people that are on there don't typically look at ads anymore. And I do feel like Facebook is kind of dying out in terms of social media. So we're focusing more on Instagram. But if you guys want to take a look at an example, you can look at our Instagram. It hasn't been released at this point because obviously we haven't opened up our second office yet, and I wanted to align with the opening of it, but it's I think it's FLOEoptometry. So Instagram.com/FLOEoptometry. And what we did was we're showcasing each frame line and kind of giving a very robust look so that we can showcase all of them instead of just doing one at a time and making it look messy. We're trying to go a different route this time, because we used to do that where we would just post up what was happening and trying to be relevant. But when I look at the feed, it actually does look kind of messy and disorganized. So this time around, what we're trying to do is actually make it very clean looking, very organized, and kind of give that clean, minimalistic look that I actually really like. So if you guys want to check it out, go ahead. But yeah, I think being on social media around the demographic that you guys are trying to cater to is very important. You want to be known as the expert in your industry in that area. So when you're doing like hashtags, or if you're tagging people, just make sure that you're doing it geographically. So you want to make sure that you include your city, whatever is the most popular hashtag around that city, and just keep posting, because I know it's really hard to post every day and then kind of get burnt out. But if you keep very consistent, you'll actually go further than if you just did it sporadically. So just be very consistent. Maybe post one every couple days. So we're looking at 2 to 3 posts a week. If you want to hit it hard and just be known as the expert in your industry around that area, you want to do it much more frequently and just kind of stick with it. So if you guys don't know how to do that, make sure that you hire someone that does. But just have someone that's very dedicated and that's kind of their priority to manage it, because I know sometimes it's something that you can easily just pass on to one of your employees and just hope that they're going to do it well, but they're usually bogged down with other responsibilities and they don't really have it as a priority, and so it can easily become not paid attention to. So you want to just be careful with that. So that kind of wraps it up. Sorry if this is very fast paced. For me, this is actually the speed that I normally don't really talk at. I actually talk a lot faster than this, but I tried to slow myself down. Not only that, I got a new mic, and so I'm super excited about it, but I didn't get something called the pop filter. And so I was kind of nervous throughout this whole podcast that I was going to say a lot of P's and those words that would sound kind of crackly. So sorry in advance if that does annoy you. I am waiting for my pop filter, which should be here in a couple days. I just was so excited and wanted to make sure I was sticking to my schedule of posting once every couple of days, because when you don't keep with your goals, sometimes it's really easy to let it slide. And so I just want to make sure I don't let this slide. So let me know if you guys found this helpful. If you guys have any other tips, or if you guys have any other topics that you want me to go over, or if there's any guests that you actually want me to talk with, I think that would be very helpful for everyone, even for me, because I'm always trying to learn. And if you guys have any recommendations for books, or if you guys are interested in any books that I found very helpful, let me know. I can definitely talk to you guys about it. Until next time, stay safe, and hopefully this all helped. Talk to you guys later. Bye.